So, Major, what battleground state looks good for Kamala Harris tonight? I know, you're thinking through them.
No, there is no really good answer for that right now. I mean, even Michigan, which theoretically looks okay, 66%, 53%, okay. That's sort of in the ballpark, but nothing really looks that great.
So, as I'm sure many people already know, Donald Trump is now and new President Donald Trump. Okay, he ended up winning against Kamala Harris, who was a former, or I guess currently still is the VP to Biden right now. All right, so something that I thought was pretty interesting. One, looking through the social media, people were saying some crazy things. They were like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna wake up a slave. Oh my goodness, every alphabet and every woman out here is they're just gonna, melt or whatever. And I'm just like, wasn't Trump president before for 4 years? I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but I could have sworn he was president right before Biden was. So that's what I don't get. But this video in particular, I actually want it to be about just what Kamala Harris and, Kamala Waltz, what they were running on and why I feel a lot of this stuff didn't work. And this is what was detrimental to, obviously, the failure of the popular vote, the Electoral College vote. The Republicans now have the presidency, in January, the presidency, the House, and the Senate. And they got the Electoral College vote and they got the popular vote. And they said this was like the first time since like almost around 2004. So that's very, very, very interesting. But I have some points that I do want to mention about this. So one is this whole thing of running on abortions. Currently, I'm in Texas. So, you had Ted Cruz versus Colin Aldrich. And he was always I've seen a lot of political flyers, y'all. Okay, more than what I would have liked to see. But you seen him Aldrich coupled up with Harris, talking about having men and women's sports and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, he talked about the immigration issue, but, for me, I'll tell you right now, okay, I needed Cruz. Get up out of there. But unfortunately, he is still the senator. So whatever with that. Even though Colin didn't do what I would have liked in terms of what he was running on, I was like, I'd rather have you. Okay, but it didn't happen, so it is what it is. But getting back to Harris, this whole running on abortions thing. But what you have with the abortion issue is, yes, is it a big deal? Yes, it is. Okay, bodily autonomy. But you have a lot of men who simply don't care because they don't have vaginas, y'all. But let's continue. So you had the abortion issue. Then you also had the whole thing of the illegal immigration. Most people don't care about immigration as long as it's legal. But letting people just come in and take resources is not the way to do it. Then you had the whole, with the Israel and Palestine war, we got to keep funding it. Instead of saying no to genocide, you had a whole population of people that said, oh, so y'all still cool with this? All right, the orange man getting my vote. What? It would behoove you to say, we're not going to just murder people senselessly. We're not going to have a genocide being committed. We're going to stop funding, period. But you didn't do that. Okay. Then you run on the whole alphabet thing. That was also another thing about it. Is alphabet this, alphabet that, alphabet. And then you're excluding the people who do not identify with that community. And you're just like, well, I mean, if you don't identify with it, then you're phobic, insert phobic. Okay, they gave their votes to the orange man, right? All right. Then you had Obama shaming black people. Black men, when I was running 2 times, wanna know what I saw? I saw a huge turnout. But for Kamala, y'all ain't doing it. What do y'all have a problem with? Y'all mad because she's a woman? And then voting for the whole, I'm a woman, so vote for me. Well, you got to give me something more than that because I'd rather have Bernie than you. So, I mean, give me something else. What else are you doing? Well, I'm a woman. Okay. Another thing is not knowing what a woman is, but you're going to protect women's rights. It's the whole thing of you're saying you're going to protect women's rights, for bodily autonomy, etc. But then I guess I'm confused because you guys don't know what a woman is.
And you provide a definition for the word woman.
Can I provide a definition? No,
Yeah,
I can't.
you can't?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the
biologist.
meaning of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
Senator, in my work as a judge, what I do is I address disputes. If there's a dispute about a definition, people make arguments, and I look at the
All right.
law and I decide. So I'm not.
The fact that you can't give me a straight answer about something as fundamental as what a woman is underscores the dangers of the kind of progressive education that we are hearing about.
How can you protect something that you don't know what it is? All right. And also the whole thing of bodily autonomy, but you have forced jabs. And people lost their jobs. And then we have myocarditis and all these other things that are going on that are a reaction to the jab. Looking at her history and how she was locking in California, San Francisco, when she was prosecutor, how she was locking up black men specifically for weed. Also, funding more wars, like I mentioned earlier, not only with the Israel and Palestine, but the Russia-Ukraine. Y'all, student loans, I can't help you with that. Codifying Roe versus Wade, I can't help you with that. Oh, y'all want cheaper housing, can help you with that. But we could go and send some money over here to kill some people, though. Okay. And then we're just going to get into some of the other stuff. Well, one, censoring of speech. I think that's a pretty big deal. Now we're going to move into some of the other stuff, okay? Lying about being black. You're like a fourth black, okay? That's not enough, okay? Let's just keep it real. That's not enough. You're like a fourth black. It's like saying Patrick Mahomes' children are black. You would say, no, they're not, because they're not, okay? So that's one of the things. You're lying about that. And then before, when it was who you were like, I'm Asian American. And now you're like, I'm African American, y'all. I'm African Asian American. No, what? Lying about being middle class as well. I'm like, okay. Then I seen a picture of a house that she grew up in. I said, this is not middle class. Maybe your middle class is different than my middle class because that's not middle class. Okay. I mean, y'all clearly had some money going on. All right. Just the whole switching back and forth when it's convenient to be black. Then you start saying all this. Y'all, we're going to get into it. You're going to go and say like, oh, I was listening to Snoop Dogg and Tupac when I was in college and smoking weed, which wasn't true because they weren't making music at that time. Oh, well, here, y'all, I'm going to have my little black sin when I'm at these rallies. Not every black person speaks like that. Next, BET Awards. We in these streets. Yeah, they not like us. Okay. Girl, I made collard greens in the bathtub. Yes. What? I mean, what are we talking about here? So that's the thing, in getting back to my other point, which was the whole vote for me because I have a vagina and I'm not that guy. That's not enough reason for someone to be like, you know what? Yeah, I need to go ahead, get out and vote for you because you're not that guy. Like that's not enough. Also, Biden even said everything that I did when I was president, Kamala could do.
And as vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do. And so I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy.
And then people seeing how bad the economy and everything was. So then it's like, well, if it's this bad and you're really in control, even though you're not, what's going to happen when you actually are? And you had your president, because you're the vice president to him, you had the president, Joe Biden, say Kamala was spearheading this whole thing. The Hurricane Helene response. How you're out on all the smoke podcasts, Who's Your Daddy or whatever, Call Me Daddy. You're on all these podcasts and doing all this other stuff. And you're like, oh, but we passed a bill that gets family $750. When you were saying that, you had a belt that was worth $700 on. Google Lens is a thing. Your belt was worth $700 and you're giving family $750. And then, just going into the whole thing with the squad, for example, and where they were. Y'all had leverage. You didn't use the leverage. You said, okay, with what? That COVID bill they wanted to pass, you could have easily been like, okay, we're not passing anything. We're not funding anything until we get Roe versus Wade codified. We're not funding anything until we get a $25 minimum wage, till we get some real universal health care up in this. You know what? We're not going to fund anything until we have these certain things in place for us. Period. Nothing else. There's not going to be any negotiation. I'm going to go to bed. Okay. There's not going to be any more negotiation until this is done. You didn't do it. So time after time after time, people are saying, you guys aren't really truthful to your word. You guys aren't really caring about the people, because if you were, you would not be doing what you're doing now. Now you may say, well, Alex, what are some things they could have done? Opposite of what I mentioned. But also creation of some green jobs. I haven't really heard them say anything. Walton Harris, I haven't heard them say anything. Of all these little clips I've seen, these little articles, where's the green jobs? You got all this motivation for abortion and alphabet, but there's nothing for green jobs. And mind you, the Roe versus Wade could have been codified under Obama, if we're going to keep it real. Okay. So there's that. Let's get rid of all these manufacturing jobs in China, for crying out loud. Okay, when you go and call customer service for AT&T and an Indian dude pops up because you got all the jobs over in India, you got them in China, you got them in all these other countries. Now bring that stuff back here. How about that? How about let's lower the cost of living? Let's see what that actually looks like. Let's lower food. Let's lower gas. Let's lower electric. Let's lower energy bills. Let's lower rent. Let's have rent control, apartments. Let's lower the mortgages. Let's do something. You can't do anything. Reduce the amount of inflation. Then you have the illegal immigration issue. If you don't have papers, if you're not here legally, you can't be here. Work visa, student visa, green card, obviously U.S. citizenship. If you don't have any of this stuff, you can't be here, period. You can't just keep letting people in and then depleting other people's resources and be like, well, vote for me though. Why do you think you lost a lot of people? There's so many black people, especially in Chicago. So many black people that said, I'm done because you guys just, you don't care about me. Because if you did care about me, we wouldn't be seeing what we're seeing now. But this is just an overhaul of just the little key points. Let me know if y'all notice any other key points that were going on. Obviously, I didn't mention everything, but these are just the ones I could think off the top of my head right now. But let me know what y'all think. Are you guys surprised? I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think she was gonna lose. I was like, no way in heck are they gonna get Trump in there. All these people saying all this, all the celebrities, endorsements, and everyone, and I'm like, no way in heck is she going to lose. I thought it was gonna be, like a 52% or 54%. I didn't think she was going to lose at all. I was like, oh. So I was pleasantly shocked because I didn't think that was ever going to happen. But hey, it is what it is. I remember I was looking at videos, as the numbers are coming in, dwindling in, and it was Kyle Kalinske. He was like, well, it's pretty obvious that, she's going to win and this and that and then third. And then I'm on my lunch break because I work night shifts. Then I'm on my lunch break and my boyfriend, he's like, yeah, Trump won. I said, really? Because I know I'm working, I don't have my phone on me and all that, so I'm not able to even look at anything. He's like, the numbers aren't definitive, but he won. I was pleasantly shocked. I really was, because I was like, I honestly did not think, all this hoopla, I didn't think this was going to happen. But when you look at all of these little data points that I mentioned, and then even other ones that I didn't mention as well, it makes sense as to why something like that would happen. But let me know what you all think about this turn of events, if you will, down below.
Kamala, you're fired. Get out. Get out. You're fired.
Hello, hello, hello. I would greatly appreciate it if you can actually support my little small business called Latrice Limited. It is on latricelimited.com. So as you can see right here, I actually sell candles and a wide variety of other items as well. This is my big forehead, okay? But I actually want to show you just a couple of different items that I do sell. This is actually going to be a part of my soap collection that I have. As you can see, I have a variety of different soaps on here. I actually have 2 pages worth of soaps. And everything is handmade, okay, natural, clean ingredients as well. You can also see right here, these are my candles, all right? They're all handmade, everything. Vanilla, sweet roses, sage and vanilla and sweet roses are actually my favorite scents that I do have. I also have a few other items on here. I'm actually going to go and show you all the bath bombs that I do have. As you all can see, there's eucalyptus and sage, sweet pea harmony, and so many more. And then we're just going to finish off on the gift sets that I have. There's a variety of them, from like the big ones like this for $45, and then you have some of the smaller ones, and you have these itty bitty ones down here that includes essential oil blends. Definitely shop with your girl. Definitely help your girl out. I would greatly appreciate it. This is like my little baby over here, okay? I would greatly appreciate it, and enjoy.